Okay, today in our Being with Jesus reading, we talk about or read about the birth of Jesus. Okay, both the accounts in Matthew as well as in Luke. Okay, so what I intend to do today is to just share with you briefly. Sometimes as we read through, we miss the significance of the birth of Jesus. The account itself, you all know why Joseph and Mary had to go to Bethlehem and all that, all the census and how the child was born, how the shepherds came and all that. We are very familiar with the story. But behind all this, the birth of Jesus account, there is much more. And even this year, we talk about Year of Hope. As I shared on Sunday about the promises of God. Okay, I'm going to share with you the promises that came true at the birth of Jesus. Some of that you may know, some of this may not be so familiar. So these are the prophecies concerning the birth of Jesus. How many are there? What are there? Okay, it's something that we will discuss even today. Okay, firstly, the so-called promised Messiah will be of Jewish descent and the seed of Abraham. Yesterday, we spent a lot of time talking about genealogy, and Abraham is a key figure in the genealogy of Jesus or through Joseph. Okay, Genesis 12:1, the promise of God to Abraham, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you, meaning the seed of Abraham. Or in Genesis 22:18, all nations on earth will be blessed. Okay, and as Christians, we believe that this fulfillment of God's promise to Abraham is through his son Jesus, by sending Jesus to be born. Okay, so the first one that we have is Jewish descent and the seed of Abraham. Keep that in mind. Okay, second, it will be of the lineage of Jacob, Abraham's grandson. Both Luke, genealogy 3 and 34, and Matthew 1 and 2 talk about Jacob, Abraham's grandson. And in Numbers 24:17, it's recorded, I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not near. A star will come out of Jacob. A scepter will rise out of Israel. Okay, so this is the promise of God's Messiah, God's deliverer, will come out of Jacob. Okay, Abraham, Jacob. So all this is promised in the Old Testament, God's promise to his people. Thirdly, not only Jacob, but the lineage of Jesse, the father of King David. This is recorded in Matthew 1, talk about son of David, and 6, Jesse's recorded genealogy, same as Luke 3:32. Jesse is recorded about genealogy in Luke. Okay, Isaiah 11:1 says, a shoot will come up from the stump of Jesse. From his roots, a branch will bear fruit. The Spirit of the Lord will rest on him. So we see that in the Old Testament, it's from Abraham to Jacob to Jesse. Okay, those are the promised lineage, genealogy passing down to the ages. Fourthly, is a lineage of King David. And this is quite obvious, both in Luke 1:32 and Matthew 1:1-17 talk the whole genealogy. Okay, Jeremiah 23:5 and 6 says, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will raise up for David a righteous branch, a king who will reign wisely and do what is just and right in the land. This is the name by which he will be called, the Lord our righteous Savior. Okay, so the Savior, the Messiah, will come through the lineage of King David. And same thing repeated in 2 Samuel 7:12-13. When your days are over and you rest with your fathers, I will raise up your offspring to succeed you, who will come from your own body, and I will establish his kingdom. He is the one who will build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. Okay, this is a promise given to David. So it will come from the line of Abraham, Jacob, Jesse, David. I think those are important for us to understand. That's why we talked about genealogy yesterday, how important genealogy is the fulfillment of God's promise to his people. And not only from that, but from the tribe of Judah, the region of Ephrata, Bethlehem. And that's recorded in Matthew 2:6, when the wise men asked, where will this Messiah be born? So the Jews, the teacher of the Jews, knew that he would be born in Bethlehem. And this foretold in Micah 5:2. But you, Bethlehem Ephrata, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from of old, from ancient times. Okay, this can only be applied to the Messiah, the coming Savior. Okay, so not only do we come through the lineage, but also a tribe of Judah, and that's important. And this all falls into place. Sixthly, will be born of a virgin. This confirmed in Luke 1:34 and Matthew 1:23. Isaiah 7:14 records, therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son, and you will call him Emmanuel, God with us. So God literally come into human existence, as it were. Okay, even though he's God, he sent the Son to be born as a human, to indicate not only God's coming to earth as a man, but still remaining 100% God. I think that's important. Okay, so this is the sixth in the way promise or prophecy that came true at the birth of Jesus. He'll be worshipped by shepherds and receive gifts from foreign kings. Okay, Psalms 72:9 and 10 alludes to this. Okay, not everybody agree, but this one possibility of interpreting Psalm 72:9 and 10. For the desert tribes, a lot of desert tribes are shepherds, bow before him, and his enemies lick the dust. May the kings of Tarshish and of distant shores bring tribute to him. May the kings of Sheba and Seba present him gifts. May all kings bow down to him and all nations serve him. Some people have used this verse to say that when Jesus was born, the shepherds came to worship him. The wise men came to give him gifts. Myrrh, frankincense. I think that's important for us to remember. This is the eighth prophecy. Ninth, King Herod slaughtered a great number of children in an attempt to kill this so-called king of the Jews. Okay, this is recorded in Matthew 2:16. You'll be reading later. In Jeremiah 31:15, it's recorded, a voice is heard in Ramah, moaning and great weeping. Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted because they are no more. Okay, so we know that the wise men came to King Herod. King Herod asked them to find out the place. They found the place, and the angel told them to go back a different way. But King Herod was so angry, they killed all the children 2 years and below. So that they suggest that when the wise men came, most probably Jesus already a young child, at least 2 years old. That's why Herod killed all these 2 years and below. Okay, I think this is the ninth prophecy that came true at the birth of Jesus in the early days. Lastly, Egyptian sojourning. Matthew 2:15 talks about it. And Hosea 11:1 says it as well. When Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. So it's wonderful for us to know that even in the birth of Jesus, okay, 10 prophecies were fulfilled. And I think that's important for us, not just to know about the birth of Jesus, but to know that the fulfillment of all these prophecies happened at the birth of Jesus.